Good morning, Crossroads South. It is Thursday, February 29th. It is Leap Day today, but let's start with our school stuff. It is an A Day, which means you have red, yellow, green, and your A Day encores. Don't forget that our trimester is coming to a close next week-ish, at the end of next week. So make sure that you're checking Genesis. I feel like I'm on a loop constantly. The same thing. Genesis, 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 Genesis. So make sure that you are checking Genesis for your information about grades. I think I've gone over this quite a bit, so you should be all prepared. I want to talk a little bit about clubs. The B session of clubs are going to start up again next week, so please listen to the afternoon announcements. And if you think you're scheduled for a club, go back and check where the location is, the meeting location. Sometimes at the end of the day, I know there's a lot going on, so you might not fully hear where the locations of clubs are, but you definitely have it listed in your paperwork for registration. Now, if your club happens here at Crossroads South, great. You'll stay after school. You'll be here for your club. If your club happens to take place at Crossroads North, you will meet at the back by the courtyard, and we will have a staff member walk you over. You'll meet as a group. You'll go over to Crossroads North for your clubs, and then you'll be dismissed from there, whether it's the club or late bus that you take, okay? That, again, will be starting next week, so just listen to the afternoon announcements for the details on that and check your registration. All right, sports is also going to be starting up on March 11th. That will be the general start time for tryouts. You cannot try out unless you're medically cleared. That information will also be updated and listed in Genesis, but if you just handed in a form yesterday, it's probably going to take some time. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. We absolutely are not permitted to let anybody try out. State regulations, we are not allowed to have anybody try out unless you've been medically cleared and checked. That is part of being with competitive sports. So make sure that that's taken care of so that you can join the tryouts and get started for spring sports. So that's about sports. I also want to mention our student council is doing a food drive, as I mentioned yesterday, and listed off all the things that you can bring in. Make sure that they are canned and self-packaged items. You cannot bring glass, and that will start on Monday. The replenished food bins are around the school somewhere. There's green bins. There should be at least one in every unit, one of the unit classrooms. So take a look at where that is, and you can start bringing in your donations on Monday. All right, now a little bit of history, and I'm looking at history.com so that I can get a little bit of help on Leap Day, because it only happens once every 4 years. So when they were putting together the calendar, and I'm talking about like an ancient civilization time, so sixth graders pay attention to this, it was based off of the solar calendar, because they liked that. They liked the orbit that the Earth did around the sun. And it took about 365 days, but the calculation wasn't exact. You know, when your math teachers say, wait a second, don't just cut off the parts after the decimal, make sure that you're adding those numbers because they add up. And while they're small, tiny numbers, over the course of time, that can be a lot. And this is what happened to our solar calendar. So it takes Earth about 365 days to orbit its star, but it's a little bit longer. The actual calculation is 365.2421 days. Now that 0.2421 adds up to a lot when you put together a year, another year, and another year. So what they were noticing is that there was about an 11-day gap, and they were noticing that things started to become off. So they would put in like, let's add in an extra month here, or let's add in a couple extra days. So they started to keep track, and then you can thank Julius Caesar for introducing the leap day with the help from the Egyptian calendar. And they put this in, and over time they realized that one day every 4 years really helped to align everything much cleaner, instead of having the days be off and the mornings and nights and everything being all thrown around. So that is a little bit of the history of Leap Day. If you are having a birthday today on February 29th, as I said yesterday, Happy birthday to our Leaplings. And I believe that's everything right now. Oh, I do have one more announcement. Last night, I was able to participate in the Black Onyx Ball at the high school. Remember, I shared the commercial with you, and it was fantastic. And I think my favorite part, it was a beautiful, beautiful night, but my favorite part was seeing all the former Crossroads South students and having them all come up and say hello to Miss Hinton and myself and tell us all the amazing things that they're doing in high school and beyond. So I'm super proud of them. And I hope that when all of you leave Crossroads South and go beyond, that you will continue to share, I have lots of people waving, that you will continue to share all of your successes with us, because that's what this is all about. All right, folks, that concludes the morning announcements. Please stand for the salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Have an awesome day, Crossroads.